and the light that you share, you're like the sun. Who am I to think how it'd be if you were mine? I've been walking with my shades on for so long, I can't seem to get them back on. 'Cause ooh, how I fell in love, couldn't see it coming, blasting my stereo. I can feel it coming, you on my radio. All I'm hearing is a song. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to cut some men's hair. Really excited to have all of you guys in the room. Let me know if you're new to these classes. Type new in the chat. If you're an OG, you've been watching this since the beginning. I've been doing live classes for almost coming on, I guess it was a year, probably late March. So we're coming up on a year of doing this consistently every single week. Now I'm doing it multiple times a week. So all you guys have to do is just download the FSE Now app and you'll see exactly when I'm going to be live. If you want to figure out what that is, here is the, see if I can put that up, FSE Now app. Yep, there it is. So if you want to join me, all you have to do is download the app. It's free. FSE Now is all you got to type into the app store, and you'll see it on Android and iPhone. So I hope you guys can join me on that. You'll get the alerts when I go live and all of that. Cool to see all the OGs. Kristen, what's up? Good to see you. Adrian. Charlene is new. Good to see you. Arizona, we got Robert Michael in the house. Jennifer's new. Jess Mack. Yes, we were, she says, I haven't seen you in so long. They were just in the Virtual Cutting Club, which is a group that meets every single Monday. If you download the app, you'll be able to join that group as well. We do Zoom classes on Monday mornings, and we cut hair together. I can watch you guys cut hair, make adjustments, all of that. So we've got that going on as well. Megan, what's up? Good to see you. John, love the hair. Super cool. What else we got? And Chelsea, Melissa, Karen. Good to see everybody in the chat. All right, cool. We could do that all day, and we probably will. But let me just put up the logo for the show. Where is it at? Right here. All right, guys, cool. So today, again, we're going to be cutting men's hair. I pulled up an article that was talking about the trends for men's hair for 2021. Basically, what I'm starting to realize is that everybody just wants to get clicks and views. So they say that every single men's cut there is medium fade, low fade, high fade, textured hair, crop cut, parted hair, disconnected undercuts. All of those things are going to trend in 2021, apparently, according to the internet, which they're all liars. So what I'm seeing in men's hair is either longer styles for men, medium length, longer textured styles, kind of worn back. I'm seeing disconnected, kind of swoop over, higher top. And then this crop haircut, I don't know if it's currently trending, but the French crop is a really cool looking men's cut. And I think it kind of translates into that younger kind of TikTok world a little bit, of where the guys kind of have a messier, disconnected top, but it's messy and a little bit shorter. So I want to show you guys that haircut today. Let me see if I can pull up what that crop cut looked like. Let me see. French crop. This is what I did. You guys can do the same. Haircut for men. Let's see if I can find that exact image, because that's what we're going to go with. Yeah, here it is. So this is super cool. I like this cut. I dig everything about it. So you guys can see. Let me see if it'll, there we go. So I love the texture, how it moves. It's got a purpose, but it's definitely a more messy look, shorter on the side. So that's what we're going to go through today. I'm going to show you guys step by step how to create that. So I hope you guys are down for that and excited like I am. South of France, what's up? All right. David Cole from Canada. Cynthia from Las Vegas. Good to see you guys. All right. Very cool. Let me pop over to the mannequin head. So a couple things that we want to do to prep the head for cutting. I understand I have a black shirt on. I will zoom out a little bit. You guys will see it better. All right, let's go here. So a couple things I'm going to do to prep this haircut, prep for the haircut. So we've got a longer top. This is a pretty typical guy's going to come in that wants this haircut. They're going to have a little bit longer hair on top, so we're going to cut into that, and it's going to be grown out on the sides. This is a pretty kind of grown out look. We're going to take this a little bit shorter, using the clipper, using a little clipper over comb technique, and then I'm going to show you guys how to texturize and move this top into more of that crop look. Right now, it's kind of that disconnected undercut feel to the haircut. So first things first, I want to separate the top and the bottom. This is what I do with a lot of my men's cuts. We talked about this last week. I'm going to be doing men's cutting on Mondays here on the channel, on Facebook and YouTube. So last week we talked a little bit about head shape. I want to get into that again today. If my guy has more of a rounded head shape, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create that top a little bit longer, have it sit up on the edge. If they have a longer face, I'm going to build that weight out a little bit to stretch their face out. So basically what I don't want to do is make their face look or appear longer than it is, right? So I'll go through here. I'll wet down some of the hair, and then I'm going to blow dry the sides. So let's just say that I've taken this guy back to the shampoo bowl. I've cleaned his hair. We cleansed it, and now I'm going to go through and section it off. All right. So now I go just above that parietal ridge area. Right here, you've got your recession point underneath here where the hair kind of goes back. That's about where I want to section this. I'm going to take a little bit more of that into it for today. All right. So I section this away. This is going to come down. I'm going to slide that clip up underneath. You don't have to clip the hair. I'm just going to clip it today to kind of really show you guys that separation. But in the salon or in the barbershop, you could just obviously comb it back and away that way. All right, so now we're going to work our way around the crown of the head in that cowlick area in the back here. So I'm going to go around underneath that cowlick. I'll clip this. Hold that steady, and then we're going to work our way around the opposite side, just like this, to that recession point again. And this, I've got a little bit shorter hair to work with. So if that's the case, if you have shorter hair, You can always slide in your Velcro clip. These are going to be back up on the store today. Just got them in, the new FSE Velcro clip. So I comb this hair up, just like, actually, let me move this clip out of the way. So I comb this hair up, just like that, and I'll place the Velcro clip there, and it'll just hold that hair in place up. I'll clip the rest. There we go. So now we basically got the hair separated. Now it steps a little bit there. Let me just adjust. And I can cut around this. All right. So now that I've got that section away, I'm going to blow dry real quick to smooth the hair out, and then we'll go in and we'll start our cut. So right here. So I'm going to work all this underneath hair all the way around the head, nice and smooth to the head, just kind of polish it down. I don't want to go in clippering wet hair is basically the key factor here. So if you didn't shampoo your client before and they have dry hair coming in, then obviously you could just section away and start your clippering. The reason I like sectioning the top away is because not only is it going to be disconnected, but I just want to be aware of where I'm cutting on the bottom and where I'm going to be cutting on the top. All right, so now that that is dry and smoothed out, now we can start going in using our clipper. Let me just make sure that that's clipped away again. All right, so now we can go in using our clipper. What I want to do is I want to start with my shortest guard first. I'm going to work around the head shape. Now, you want to decide how you want this fade to look. For me, I like to follow the round of the head or follow the hairline, so I'm going to work through here. Down in, just kind of scooping out as I work. So I'll go into the hair and then kick out away from the head, and I'll just continue working through. I'm going to be using the Andis Master Series clipper. This is a cordless clipper. Like this thing, I just purchased it not too long ago. And I'm going to be going in, I'm going to use my 1.5 guard closed. So let's see here if it'll focus. So here is open. So this is the longest point of that 1.5 guard, almost a 2, right? And then you've got, let's see if it'll come back. And then closed is going to be my true 1.5. So I'm going to work around the head shape here, just flicking my wrist out as I work around it. You could start in the front and the back. If you like to start in the front, if you're not comfortable with the length, you could start here and ask your client if that's the length they're working with or they're looking for, and then work your way through the head. I'm going to start in the back corner and then work my way up towards the front. Let me zoom in a little bit more. All right, so I'll start in the back. Again, this is going to be my shortest point. I don't do a lot of really close, tight fades. I'm not a barber. I'm a hairdresser, but I have a rather large male clientele that I like to create these kind of like crop styles or textured styles. So I like to clean up the sides, and I have a lot of fun and get creative with the top. So that's kind of what we're working through with here. So just following my way around the head. And I just watch the weight line as I'm working through, because I want that weight line to drop and get longer towards the back. So kind of coming up here and then drop that weight line. So I flick my wrist out wherever I want to drop that weight off. So I drag the weight up and drop it off and just work my way around. Same thing here. Work up that sideburn area, around the ear. You can fold his ear down and work at an angle with that clipper. Just flick your wrist out when you want to drop that weight off. So right in here, same thing. So you can see right at that occipital bone area is where I start to flick my wrist out. I'm standing behind my work here, making sure that I keep all that weight balanced in the back of the head. Same thing, when you get to the side of the head here, I'm going to work that clipper at an angle around his ear. And then I'm going to work my way up the sideburn. Same thing, at an angle. So the next thing that I like to do is I could go in with another clipper guard. Like I could go from a 1.5 to maybe a 3 and fade this up a little bit and then blend those two. I like to just grab my wider tooth comb like this, or you could have a wider tooth comb like we sell on Shop FSC like this. I don't sell this one. I like this one a lot though. So I think I picked this up. I don't even remember. I've had it forever. It's even broken on the edge. Talked about it last week. But I like this one because it glides very easy and it's a little bit fatter width-wise. So you don't go so close to the head. You can kind of use the bone of the comb as a guideline and work your way through. Now, I'm going to do clipper over comb work. So what I want to do is I want to blend this line. So I'll kind of lean back with the comb and blend in my line through it. So I'll just kind of continue working back on the head. So right here, slide across, work my way back, and then following that head shape, just like that, all the way through. So that will start to blend that weight line in. Now I want to leave some weight and bulk into the back crown area. Not this much, obviously, but I want to build up that weight because that is going to give my haircut balance. Like his chin kind of comes out this way. You want to have the crown of the head have a little bit of volume here, and that's going to give balance to my haircut. So I'll continue working diagonal back, working up the head shape just a little bit. And I'll keep this comb diagonal back all the way through, and then I'm going to come back diagonal back the opposite direction. So just making sure I kind of stay. Let's see here. So as I put my comb into the head, I can see those little hairs sticking out, and that's where I want to cut. So you're looking for that guide underneath. Also notice that I keep my middle finger up against the head as I'm working. That kind of helps keep my comb steady and holding it where I want away from the head. Work through it. Now I'll look in the mirror to make sure that my line looks good in the fade. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side here. So now when I put the comb in this way, I'm going to be working back off of the face. Really the reason for this is only because I don't want to throw the hair into my client's face. So I want to kind of work the same way, everything coming back off of the face as I work through it. There we go. So just watch that hair underneath. And I used this analogy last week, and I'll probably use it every single time I do clipper over comb, but I really think of it like a squeegee, like you're moving that weight up the head. So if you're squeegeeing your windshield and you have a bunch of water on it, and you squeegee across, it removes the water from there and pushes most of the water to another area. You're kind of doing that when you're cutting with a clipper or cutting hair in general. If I cut it here, it's just moving that weight line to there. Then I remove the weight line there and it puts it there. So clipper over comb is very similar to that, because I take the weight and I cut it here, but now it's there, right? So now I move the comb up a little bit more and I cut it there. So now it's up a little bit higher. So you just got to be aware of that as you're cutting, and you got to figure out where do you want to pick up the weight and where do you want to drop it off. There we go. Now I'm going to blend the side here. So now I've got some of this hair that I want to add into it. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to clipper all the way through and cut into that weight. This is going towards the face, but I just feel like it's the best angle for me right now. And now I'm going to work my way back off. So just like that, and then you look in the mirror and you just see how does that line look. Getting better, nice and clean. All right. So now I want to blend the two sides in the back. So we've kind of worked through this cut. So right in here, I want these two to come together. So I'll stand back, kind of take a look, work diagonal back this way, and then diagonal back the opposite. And this is really one of the reasons why I like to separate the massive like kind of cowlick swirl area. So I go right under that swirl, and then this is where I blend the fade, and then from that I'll let the cowlick fall over and I can cut that a little bit different. If you clipper the cowlick, a lot of times you lose control of it. So I'm going to go through here, blending. This back portion, see where we're at. As I comb in here, I just see that little bit, and that's what I remove. All right. Now, I can go in with a longer scissor, do a little scissor over comb work to blend it some more. Right through here. So this is the Mizutani Blacksmith Fit scissor. Let me see if I can turn and get a better angle for you guys. I'm going to make that smaller. It's probably locked. So all the tools that I'm using, obviously, guys, the OGs in the room, if you guys could help posting the, thanks, Kristen, I appreciate that. Help post the website where everybody can get the tools if they want, but this is the Blacksmith Fit scissor. This is a gold edition. We don't have this anymore, but you can get it in silver. It's a 6.5-inch scissor, which I like for scissor over comb because it has more reach. I talk about this a lot, but when you look at a shorter scissor, like the one I use for precision cutting, which is a 5-inch scissor, if I go to scissor over comb with the smaller scissor, what happens is I'm trying to just get this little bit, and I'm reaching in, and my hand gets in the way a little bit as I reach in to try to get into more of the bone of the comb. So I can only really cut like this little bit in the tip of the comb, which is not ideally where I want to be. I want to be more in here and cutting this area. Just for me, that's more comfortable. So when you have a longer scissor, like this one, I can be in that area and my hand still isn't even touching the comb, and I can cut in that area. So just working through, just like that, cutting the hair up. Also, another little shout out, I think I'm live on Minerva Beauty's Facebook as well. So if you guys are looking for salon furniture, the best in the business, best prices, all of that. If you need salon chairs, barbering chairs, hair cutting chairs, mirrors, equipment, tools, they have everything you need on Minerva Beauty's website. So go to minervabeauty.com. All right, working my way up and just fading that hair in a little bit. There shouldn't be much work to do here. You've already done the clipper work. This is just little tiny details. If they have bumps in their head a little bit and you want to kind of get a little bit closer to the head, this is always a good way to do it with the comb, getting into a little bit tighter spot. All right. Then the last thing I like to do before I start moving into the top and doing the edges is take my Mizutani Type Z dual texture scissor. This thing, see if I can, if it'll focus. There we go. It's got texturizers on both sides. So what I love about this is that as I cut in, you can see the spaces in the teeth. It doesn't get caught on the hair at all. So not that all texturizers do that as long as they're sharp, but as I'm working through, if I just want to cut that kind of 20-30% of the hair through it, it works really, really well, especially when you're dragging through the hair. It doesn't get caught at all. So I'm going to use this to just soften the edges, not changing the weight, not cutting too much into it at this point. I like the graduated feel that we have, but I just want to soften the edges, which will make them softer and blend a little bit better. It also helps with the client. When they go to style it, they won't have as heavy of a weight line. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Let's go through here and just cut into the edges of that weight line. All right. Now, I'm going to use my T-trimmer to go in and just work the edges a little bit. Cut into his sideburn, work around the edge, clean him up. So I can pull his ear down and then work up around. I'd bend his ear this way if it wasn't plastic. Work my way around the edge. I can go a little trimmer over comb, tighten this up if I want to, and then work my edges. I'm going to round off the back. Don't really need any hard lines in there. Give them a more natural looking hairline. Again, a little trimmer over comb. All right. I get through this quick because it's a little bit different between, that's kind of the biggest difference between mannequin hair and human right there, is cutting around the edges, because obviously he doesn't have hair growing sporadically all over the place. All right, so now I'm going to remove these clips from the top of the head. We're going to have a much disconnected feel throughout the top, and what we're going to do is we're going to go in, blend some of that, and then also cut into it, add texture, all that through the top. This is really where the magic of this haircut comes in. So I'm going to spray it down because some of that hair is dried, and I want to work with wet hair for a minute, and then we'll go into dry hair. We're also going to work this cowlick area as well. So let me show you kind of where the cowlick is. So right in here, some people have a double cowlick. It doesn't really matter what you have, because cutting around a cowlick is very similar. So I'll show you guys a little trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comb, saturate the hair so that it's not shooting out everywhere, and figure out where that cowlick wants the hair to go. So this little swirl kind of wants the hair to be fed out like that. So all you have to do is comb the hair in the direction the cowlick wants it to go, and then that's also the direction that you're going to go in and cut it. So here we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see closer. Okay, so this hair wants to come straight out of the head there and come down. So I'm going to lift that vertical from that point, and I'm going to come in here and cut my line. Just like that, and let it kind of fade in. So we'll have a little buildup of weight in that area. And then I'm going to comb the hair next to it. And I'm not going to over direct that too much. I really want that hair to come straight out from where it wants to fall, and that's where I'm going to cut it. What this is going to do is allow that cowlick to kind of dictate where it wants to go. That's the number one. If you try to pull that hair into a different area and cut it, what's going to happen is that cowlick is going to fight. And when the client goes to style their hair, they're going to have a challenge because they're going to be fighting that cowlick the whole time. So for me, I like to just comb the cowlick exactly where it wants to be. For instance, this part wants to be right here. I'm going to comb it out, and then I'm going to go in and cut just like this. Down. So I just continue working around that cowlick area, just in the back. So right at that division point, that's where I'm going to stop, because the top we're going to cut a little bit different. So again, here, this is where this hair wants to live. So we come straight out from the head, and I'm going to work up. Like that. Here we go. Bring that hair out from where it wants to live and cut. Same thing. And now, if you want, you could blow dry this, see how it wants to lay, and then go in, do a little scissor over comb work. If you wanted to just kind of blend it a little bit more. But then once you start to blow it dry, you'll see how it reacts. Then you can kind of texturize, cut into it so it lays the best. All right, so now we need to move into this kind of textured crop look of the haircut. Here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. So the way that we're going to work this is I want to go horizontally across the haircut. We'll say it horizontally. Some people call this vertical. Not really sure on that. I'm going to work straight up just like this. In the previous cut, there had been a triangle kind of feel to it. We're going to cut more straight across the top of the head, just like this. work across. Now, if you need to blend the corners in, you can do that. That's kind of where I lose the hair. So because of the previous haircut, which becomes a pretty Salon reality feel to it. So now I'm going to bring the new section back to that guideline. So we'll go here and cut. So over directing back. There we go. Now I'm going to over direct this next section back to the previous as well. Slightly moving forward. Here. Now, as we get to the front of the head shape, the head starts to curve forward towards the nose. And because of that, we start to get extra over direction. So this is where you're gonna want in your head to be over directing this part of the hair back a little bit more because you're just thinking it's all the same. The problem is the head shape here starts to curve a little bit forward. So all this hair, when you start over directing it back, is coming around. So it's going to be even longer. And we don't want too much length in the front of this cut. We really want it to be about half the forehead, depending on the size of their forehead. So if you look at this here, so Michelle is asking, does the app cost money? It does not cost money. It is a free app, free salon education. So bring the hair back just to the previous section and cut. And then again, bring this hair back to that previous section. So let me show you when you go here that I'm not over directing it too far. This is basically straight up from where it lives. And then I cut across like this, right? Straight line across. We go to the overhead. Show you guys that view real quick. So right here, straight up. Zoom in a little bit. Look at that. So what we did was we went horizontal across here, brought everything to this point and cut. Then we take our next section, just like this, and bring it back slightly to that previous section and cut. Then, again, this one, slightly back and cut, and slightly back and cut. So we're just slowly moving across the head. And then when we get to this very front section, it's kind of straight up from where it lives, and we cut across that way. So that's the first thing. That gets us roughly where we want in our length, especially through this top portion. But then when we get into this area here, that's where we want to take off a little bit of length. So what I'll do, let me show you guys a little trick. Is I like to take this front portion of the haircut, and now I'm going to take a diagonal forward. Actually, I'm going to blow it dry, and then we'll cut into it. So let me dry this a little bit. I'm going to use my Ergo Diamond Head brush. You can pick this up on our online store as well. It's just a small paddle brush. And what we're about to do here is one of my favorite things on the planet. So, which is kind of fine tuning men's hair. So when you get hair that gets kind of bulky, oh, let's go here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. When hair gets a little bit bulky, you got to understand that the guy, if he leaves the salon, it kind of looks like this, he's going to have a hard time doing anything with it. So you got to go in, give it a little extra effort to get the result that you're looking for. So a couple things with the front of the head. You can see how long that front is. That's not quite what our goal is. We want to cut that a little bit shorter. We want it more crop-like in the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slight diagonal forward section, comb that hair up just like that, place my FSE Velcro clip here, and then you can see how it separates and just kind of holds that hair. You just press it in and it holds. We do the same thing on the opposite side with a diagonal forward line. So then we're only working in this kind of fringe area. I'll place that clip in. And we can work each side of the haircut. All right. Now I'm going to go in with my texturizing scissor. Go-to texturizer here for this situation is the Uragi 6. Let me see if it'll focus in. This one does not have the dual texture blades. The reason I like that is because I like to work that solid blade through and then cut into it. This also removes about 30% of the hair when you cut. The other thing with this scissor that I really like is that it's an even handle. So that way I can flip it to either side depending on how I'm going to cut, because I like having that steady blade as the full blade, and then the texturizers as the blade that moves with my thumb. So I'm going to cut length using the texture scissor, but it's just not going to give me as much of a blunt line. So that is my goal here. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to start working that more blunt line into the hair. Now, I don't have to completely create a line yet because I can go in with my regular scissor and do that. But I want to go through and remove some of this bulk and start getting the line. Now look how shattered that is, and I can easily just point cut through it. Now, here's why I like having, because I had this steady blade there, right? Now I can flip the scissor around and have this blade kind of on the bottom again, and I can work through the opposite side. So now I'll go through and I'll start working where I want to cut that line. Again, this is 30% of the hair that we're cutting. So you can see how it quickly pretty much takes out that weight and creates a line in it. I'm going to take these two Velcro clips off. Now we're starting to get that line in the haircut. So I'll go through and just create more of a blunt edge using that 30%. Now, if you want to get it away from their eyes a little bit, you can always hold it in your comb and point cut through it, just like that. Starting to get more of a cropped effect. Hold this up in my comb. All right, so now I'll put down my texture scissor, and I'm going to go in with more of a blunt cutting scissor here, and I'll just remove some of those little hairs that we have throughout the cut. Again, if you want to lift the hair up, you can then point cut into it, create that blunt look. So now we've got this edge going. Now what do we need to do? We need to create texture through the top portion. So what I want you guys to do is a couple things. What we got? It's Kristen's birthday on Monday. Happy birthday, Kristen. Very cool. We're almost birthday buddies. My birthday is on the 15th. I don't know which day that is. But all right, so now we're going to use a TriRazor. Here, this is our tool. We came out with it, patent pending, selling it all over the world. So if you want one, check out our website. We're shipping them all over the place. So here is the TriRazor, and I forgot to give one of these away. I did give one away last week, but I want to give one away today. So if you guys want a TriRazor, comment in the comments and just say TriRazor in the comment if you want one. And at the very end, I will give one away for you guys. All right. So now I'm going to use a TriRazor to create some texture in here, but I want to get some of this hair out of the way. There we go. And let me go to the overhead, and I'm going to show you guys. Love seeing all that. Oh, geez, just kicking things now. See, I can't read your comments and do this at the same time. All right. So now, let me show you some tricks with the TriRazor. Where is my TriRazor? Here it is. Actually, I'm going to have to use this one. I don't have a blade. All right. Oh, you guys are awesome. Love seeing all the commenting. All right. So here's a TriRazor, guys. This is the tool. It's super awesome. 100% cutting side. Then you've got texturizing sides that work great in men's hair. Also great in long hair, great in every kind of hair. You can do basic, normal razor cuts this way, and then you can create texture. So texture is what we're going to do today. So what I'll do is I'll comb. I'm standing in front of the head. I'm going to comb some hair up, place my Velcro clip in there, and we're going to work through creating some pieciness. So 25 texture side, I put it down on the head, and I slide it. Comb that out. Now it's creating texture pieces. So I go here, 25% texture side, and slide. Now you don't have to go all the way to the scalp. You could create just a soft feel if you wanted to take a section in your hand and then just come in here, 25% texture side, and just take out 25% of that hair. You could do that as well. Get more comfortable with the tool before you start digging at things. But that starts to create that texture through the top. We're creating a textured crop, so that's how we want to go about it. Now we have most of our bulk in the front of the head here. So again, I'll move down just a little bit, comb the hair back, add the Velcro clip. You don't even have to slide the Velcro clip in. You just push it into the hair like this, and it holds that section nice and clean. Now, I come through here, 25% texture right here, and I just come in and I slide. And I work both sides of it, which is going to remove 25% of that hair and add a ton of texture into it. Lift that up. We're going to do the same thing, just go a little bit more. Now, when I get into this fringe area here, let me tilt him back just a little bit. When I get into this fringe area here, I may hold it more in my hand like this and then go in with that 25 texture side and cut just so that I'm not dragging it on the fringe. And then maybe even work a couple more pieces, different areas. You go through there, cut it, drop it down. Forward a little bit. So you can see all that depth that we created using the tool. So you can see how it moves around, but it's got a ton of texture popping through it. All right, let's do some more. You go to the front angle here. So you see how it's popping? Now we still have a little heaviness in the front, which is okay. This haircut kind of calls for that, but I can still take a little bit more out. So as I work through here, I'll comb that hair forward. And I'll take my TriRazor and I'll pinch and cut, and just kind of tap through it. One of the coolest things a client said in our salon last week, Brian did a dry haircut with the TriRazor, which we did last Tuesday online as well. But he did a dry haircut with it, and the client said that when he uses his scissors to do it, a lot of times she feels a pull. But when he used the TriRazor, she felt no pull, which I thought was really cool. It speaks a lot to this tool. This is sharper than a scissor blade. I actually also just watched a YouTube video where a guy took, it's called like the sharpest knife in the world. You could probably look it up on YouTube, but he literally built his own knife and he used razor blades and created a case that lined up razor blades and made that a knife as opposed to just sharpening a piece of metal. Razor blades are sharper than scissors. So as long as you have a fresh blade and then you have a casing like this, which I'll show you guys in a second how the casing works, but the casing holds the blade tight and firm. So when you go in to cut with it, you get, and I'm not going to cut that fringe area, but I want to cut on top of it, you get a much sharper, smoother feeling than you do when you just slide through with a scissor blade. So it's pretty cool. And I thought that was a really nice compliment because hearing customers, talk about getting a dry razor cut, a lot of us, for some reason, we were taught to freak out about it, but it's only if you use a dull blade. All right, so look at all that texture that we created. It was a basic blunt haircut through the top, but then when you go in with the TriRazor, you create all that. And now the last little bit, I'm gonna do some detail work. And I think I'm going to use a texturizing scissor, go back to the Uragi 6, and I'll just kind of lift. I want this to be disconnected, but I don't want it to be bubbly, right? And here's another thing that I think about a lot when my customers come back into the salon. I don't want them to have a really bad shape in their haircut when they come back. When they leave, they always look good. But are we really thinking about how they're going to look in 3 weeks? Because that's really what I'm thinking about. So when I go in to cut his hair, I want to make sure that these sides are not going to grow directly out and explode quickly. So I want it to be disconnected, but I also want to take out a little bit of the bulk. So keeping the feeling of the disconnection, but removing bulk. Now, little fun fact for you guys, on our website now, on our online store, we have payment plans. I know some of you guys aren't in the US. We can't sell scissors outside the US at this point. Apologize for that. But if you're inside the US and Canada, then you can buy scissors on our website. If you're anywhere in the world, you can buy the TriRazor. So we do ship that all over the place. All right, so now let's finish this cowlick area. Uragi 6 right around the cowlick. I let the hair still fall where it wants to, but I want to take out just a little bit of bulk and let this lay a little lighter. So I will work around that cowlick area, dragging from the point of the cowlick out. So scissor, cut out, scissor, cut out that way. Now same thing on the opposite side. When I go here, I'll flip the scissor around and I'll drag from the point out and just cut into it, still not forcing that cowlick to do something it doesn't want to do. Last little bit. What do I tell my stylist? So he will make the ends of my hair choppy like blades of grass. I like that description. So texture is a good word to use with stylists. And I want to see. I like the crisscross movements of that haircut that I showed you guys. See if I can pull it back up. Yeah. So this is kind of our goal. This is what we were going for. I like those crisscross movements. He even has a little bit of highlight to it. Now, here's the other thing, guys. I didn't cut this haircut. Oh, that's my son. I didn't cut this haircut at all, so I want to make that very clear. That's not my haircut. I don't even know. I don't know whose haircut that was. I just Googled it. This is my haircut that you're looking at. All right. So one thing that I kind of want to do is I want to cut some blunt chunks into this because I like the thought of that. You could do that with the TriRazor as well, but Scissor always cuts blunt lines really, really good. But just those blunt lines create that kind of unique texture, I think. All right, last bit. I feel like that's just a little heavier than I want it to be. Okay. All right, so there's a couple different products you could use, I think, to create this style. For me, I like more of a matte finish product. So we either have Reformer, Mitch Reformer, or Maverick Dry Paste. I think you could use either one. I'm always kind of geared towards Mitch. This clean cut product is what I use in my hair. So anytime you want more of a matte finish, I like going with the Reformer. And I'm going to start with a tiny bit, and I'm going to run that in my hands. So just like that, I'll run it in my hands like this. Get it all over my hands first, and then I'm going to start to kind of work that through the top. Now, I don't want to go too much in the front of the hair at the very beginning. You kind of start wiping your hands into the hair first. And then, once I get that kind of into the hair, then I'll start working it into the front. And then the other thing I'll do is brush the product in. Because we've put so much texture into this hair already that it will activate really easily. But I don't want the hair to have a total messy feel. I like the texture, don't need the mess. So I'll comb this hair, brush it forward a little bit with the product in it. And then as soon as I start putting my hands back in it, it's now got product all over it. Clean his nose. So then I can start to move the hair a little bit and take kind of these chunkier pieces and put them in different directions. So creating some of that separation, piecing some of this stuff together, crisscrossing the texture is one of the things I like most about this French crop look. So like this hair is going this way, and then you've got hair coming back the other way. I think what shows this haircut off so much and so well is that the highlights that go through it. So adding maybe a couple painted highlights in. I'll do a class on hand painting highlights for guys. We'll do that coming up. But, you know, it's pretty simple. You just kind of, you could even style their hair and just paint lightener into it. It's always a good way to do it. But you can see that texture, it moves through it. Let me go to the top angle. So even through here, adding some of those pieces, activating that hair a little bit, just twisting it. So another little tip, when you have that product on your hands, just add a little twist to the hair as you go through. That. Let that product work. So there we go. What do you guys think? I'm digging it. I feel like it's got a really cool look to it, really nice texture. Hope you guys like it as much as I do. Diamond Dog, thank you so much. Samantha, I appreciate it. If I can find a towel. There we go. All right. Thank you, guys. Lucy, thank you. Everybody's commenting TriRazor still. Awesome. The The top view with the white floor looks great. Thanks, Kristen. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got our white floor, so now it all goes together. And I got all new camera angles, so now we're a little fresher. They all match up. So I think it was this was the first test really of the new cameras and lighting and white floor and all that working together. So thanks for noticing. All right. There's the cut. What do you do with a crop to make a cut thicker, longer, on thinning or recession? Smomo, let me see if I can pull up your question here. I feel like this is a great question. What do you do with a crop to make it thicker and longer on thinning or recession? So I actually think that the crop haircut is ideal for somebody that's thinning or has a recession. So what we've been doing on guys quite a bit is when they have a recession here, this is where you can't say that like one thing is really a trend. It's whatever fits right on that guy. So if a guy comes in, he's got a massive like recession point, really goes back on his head, then maybe a style that comes up and over or combs over to the side isn't really ideal. And if he's got thin hair, even more. You could still add this texture in, doing some point cutting through the top on thin hair, but then the crop haircut is perfect for thin hair because you're cutting more of a blunt, thicker feel to the bottom here. Just don't go through and do as much texturizing because you don't need to, but having that blunt line and then just having it messy and just keep your blunt edge. So have it come down and cut even more of a blunt feel to the front of this. So like if I go in and right in here, I'm like cutting more blunt through it, it's gonna have a thicker feeling and appear to be thicker than if you chopped into it or tried to swoop it up over. So you're kind of hiding the recession, but at the same time, you're adding bulk to that area, which is really good. All right, let's see. Any other questions you guys have for me? Just type Q, put in your question. That way I can see it really easily in the chat. What do you want for your birthday? How old are you? Do you like birthdays or hate them? This is still a question, so it is. That is a question, Jess. You're very right. I like birthdays. I don't mind them. I feel like I'm going to be 38 coming up, so getting older, but I'm excited. I'm excited for my 40s when that happens. So that's that. And what do I want for my birthday? I'm super excited because my son has his first school lacrosse practice on my birthday, so that's what I want. I want to be there and enjoying that. Let's see. Can you use the TriRazor on very curly hair? Absolutely. It's a great tool for curly hair. I actually think I'm going to be doing a class real soon using the Amber mannequin from Pivot Point, which is extra curly, coily hair. And I'm going to use the TriRazor for that to cut one of Danielle's color techniques. So that'll be coming up. Where do you get your mannequins? I get them from Pivot Point. So if you guys are looking for mannequins, Pivot Point's definitely a good place to get them. Good quality, not cheap, but the best quality. Very cool. Does this cut work really well with straight hair? Yes. Straight hair works really well as well. You're very welcome, Lucy. Wish I could do something with my husband's hair, so thin and baby fine. I have thin and, oh gosh, getting a cramp. I have baby thin hair as well, and I think that one of the key things is to cut blunt. Anytime somebody has fine hair, and I do this with my female customers as well, I try to keep blunt lines as much as possible. I'm bad about texturizing because I'm a perfectionist and checks my length at the end of the cut advice. Kel, totally get it. So be a perfectionist. So this is what I like to do, because I'm not a perfectionist in life, but I'm a perfectionist in cutting hair, because I like seeing those lines, but then I love cutting texture into those lines. So what I'll do is I'll do a perfection haircut or perfect haircut, blow it dry, see the lines, and then go in and diffuse those lines, which is kind of what we went over in Virtual Cutting Club today. So get perfect lines with a purpose, then go in and texturize them. And then you know you already had a perfect haircut, so texturizing them is good. You don't have to check that later. Is it best to keep the sideburns or not? Because I see you kept the sideburns. So it doesn't matter. Whatever your guest likes, this has sideburns that you can't make go away. So even if I cut them up, they would still show because he has sideburns, but you don't have to. So does that apply to the calic area too if they are receding? For blunt, yes, I would cut blunt in a calic area or the crown of the head if they're receding or if they're thinning in the back. A little extra length and cut blunt lines instead of point cutting into it. Looks good. Already bought the TriRazor. Thank you, Gary, so much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone on here that's bought a TriRazor already. I get an alert every single time on my phone that one is ordered. So I love seeing it throughout the day. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate the support. This is our first tool that we ever came out with on our own. And the amount of people that have purchased it, it blows us away. And I can't thank you guys enough. It's super cool. It's $44. We ship it all over the world. Sometimes the USPS is terrible, and we're trying to figure out ways, but we ship it all day, every day, and they're all, just thank you guys. Thank you for the support and supporting what we're doing. Great cut and finish. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Love working with curly hair. So do I. Are you a perfectionist? Do you find it hard to stop cutting? Yes and no. So I am a perfectionist, but I don't get caught up. So I can easily let things go. So I try to do that because it depends on the situation. But for the most part, I need to, like, my wife is a perfectionist and she can't let it go. She can't stop. For me, I'm definitely good at like moving on to the next thing, or in the middle of a cut, especially because I cut mannequins a lot. In the middle of the cut, I'm like, oh, I need to do that. So then I'll go do that thing as well. So I can stop, but I am a perfectionist in wanting it to be perfect, but I can let it go. Let's see. We're 5 years apart to the day. I don't know if you're talking about me and you, but that's awesome. What do you do for baby fine hair? We'll talk about that one of these days. We should get into that for sure. All right. Cool. Next live stream, I'll be live tomorrow, and I'm going to have you guys put your birthdays in because I want to know when they are. I got to get off this one, but I do want to know. It'd be fun to see everybody's birthdays. Can you show how to change the blade? Oh, yeah. Let me show you guys that because I do want to make this a separate video as well. I have it right here. All right. So this, let me go here. This is how you change the TriRazor blade, okay? So one of the biggest things about the TriRazor to understand is that there's two different sides, a top and a bottom. Even though they look similar, they're not identical. So the top is the side that has a crease, right? So let me go a little closer. Can I zoom in more? Yes. Okay. Oh, that's even better. Oh, don't lose focus. All right, so the top is the side with the crease right here. Now the crease is important because you're gonna pop this open. So you pull this here. So you pull that open, the top comes off, and then this pulls up, just like that. And then there's 3 blades inside. Those blades easily can be changed out. And then once you put them back in, you've got the top of the TriRazor here. You push it on. There's little edges right here, and you just snap each corner in, those two corners, and then this top piece goes right back on, clicks on, and then you've got your blades back and ready to go. Now, when you do a haircut, this is the thing I like about the TriRazor is that sometimes when you do a haircut, you don't really use these two sides. You might not, or you might only use it a little bit, but you use this one all the time. Well, you could just change out that blade. That's pretty simple. Each TriRazor comes in the box with three blades in the TriRazor already, ready to go, and then a box of 5 blades as well. You can order 10 packs of blades on our site, but this is how it comes, and then with a top on the box as well. All right. That's an extreme close-up. All right. Thanks, Kel. Appreciate that. Let me see. Got mine too. Trisha, thank you so much. I got one. It's amazing. So fast. Thank you so much. It's super cool. Anna, you're very welcome. Thank you, Roller Girl. Appreciate it. Happy birthday to, wait, when is Jess? So Jess is next week. So you're next Monday. Or not Jess, Kristen. How much is the TriRazor? What's up, Johnny? I got to send you one, pal. And I got to get you on here to do a live, please, on a Men's Monday. But they are $44.95 on our website. Shipping is free over $100 if you spend over $100. So depending on what you're getting, guys. And we are about to restock all of our combs and stuff. I think we're getting another order in soon. So, John, great question. Yes, I would do the same method, just cut it longer, or maybe over direct that front back just a little bit more. So you know how we pulled it straight up? I would just go back a little bit more. Really want one of those clicking tripods. That's funny. So the clicking tripod is from Pivot Point. So if you guys are looking for a new tripod, this thing is pretty awesome because it's the best tripod currently. And I love tripods like based on filming and different things for camera stuff. I would make a tripod if I really felt like there was a big market for it, but Pivot Point has a great one. So not only is it heavy duty, which is great for blow drying, not great for travel, but great for blow drying and, just feeling sturdy. But this little thing here, which is this little pin that you pull out. So let me show you guys. Let me go back over here and zoom. How much can I zoom? There we go. So this little pin right here, this pulls out. So you pull out and twist it, and then the head freely rotates around. So when you're an educator, this is the best tripod on the planet. A stylist in the salon too, if you're practicing. But then when you lock it back, then it stops turning. You pull it out, turns, you lock it back in, doesn't turn. So it's a pretty nice tripod. I think that's about it. That's the only really different fancy thing that it does. And it's a couple $100, maybe a little bit more than that to get it, but it's definitely worth it, I think. So nice, the classes in Spanish just one day. I totally agree. Maybe we'll figure it out. I would love to figure that out. It won't be me, but maybe a translator we could have in here. That would be cool. See if we can figure that out. Let's see. All right, should I pick a winner? Let me see how much the Velcro clips. So the Velcro clips, I believe, are there's a couple different packs. And they'll be back on the website today. A lot of you guys ordered them and we ran out. So we got a new order in. They used to have a different logo on them. So they're going from this, which would look like this, to the FSE logo, which I'm super psyched about. So I got to take new pictures of them though, so I'll do that today. And then you guys can order them on our website probably by this evening. You'll be able to order them. You can get like a 6-pack or a 4-pack, I think, or something. I don't really remember. I think it's a 2-pack. I don't know. But they're very, very handy. You can use them in long hair, short hair. You just part the hair and push it in, and it stays, holds the hair, and they come out really, really easy. So really cool product to have. I'm on Pivot Point now. Sweet. Very cool. You're welcome, Pivot Point. Send me some free mannequins. Thanks. Yes, I'm in PA, guys, if you don't know. Please do a video on woman's crop with long length side bang. That's a cool idea. I'll do that for sure. 51 and 2 years of Paul Mitchell. Your videos helped me so much. John, super cool. I just whistled while I talked. Love all your stuff you feature. Thank you so much. I like the logo too, but here's the thing. We're trying to brand everything with Free Salon Education, so it just makes more sense to do it that way. And the FSE logo is sweet. You can't deny that. Play button with the FSE. It's pretty cool. Are mine technically vintage now? Yeah, not one of a kind because there's multiple out there, but save them because everybody else will destroy them and you'll still have them. I'm in PA too. Kel, super cool. We're near Philadelphia. Thanks, Matt. I've learned a lot from you. Cool. All right, let me pick a winner. Let me see. How am I going to do this? Wish mine had the new logo. I know. The old logo is cool too, though. You could swap it out with somebody. Somebody wants to buy the new one. Or collect them all. All right. Okay, so here we go. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I'm just scanning through. Are you new? Are you new? Did you write TriRazor? All right, first TriRazor I see is the winner. Here it is. Lisa Kerr is the winner. So Lisa, all you have to do is email me, matt@freesaloneducation.com, and just say that you're the winner. And what I'll do is I'll email you back a code to purchase it for free. So purchase it for free. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll send you a code for a free TriRazor. So Lisa, congratulations again. It's Lisa Kerr, TMR, I don't know. And Linda, you are disqualified for calling it the trim razor. I'm just kidding. No, Lisa, you're the winner. TriRazor, thank you so much. We will do more giveaways tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be live on here. I'm going to be, what am I going to cut tomorrow? I forget exactly what I'm cutting tomorrow, but is Lisa still on here? Hopefully. But congrats, Lisa. Again, email me, matt@freesaloneducation.com, and I will get you that code. Yes, she is. Sweet. Very cool. I can't wait to see what you do with it, Lisa. Send me that email. All right. You guys are the best. If you have any other questions, make sure you download the FSE Now app, which is right here. It's available on the App Store. It is free. All these classes are on there and also much more. Tons of classes, tons of free content. I think there's over 300 free videos on there, and there's more and more going up all the time. So you guys can watch that and be alerted when there's new classes. Plus, we have new stuff coming up with live streaming and different things. It's going to be on the app as well, so make sure you get it. And that's pretty much it. FSE Now on the App Store, so download it. All right, let's see. Is that it? Let me close this out. here. Close that out there. Appreciate the support. All right, that's it. See you guys. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help how. Let this sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. Why you blushing? Yeah, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching.